Okay, so hi, my name is Jessie and welcome back to my channel. I am doing a music video review of Rihanna for the music video title American Oxygen. Okay, so welcome back. So the last episode was ISIS War Force, okay? And today the title of the video is Roleplay. Okay, so basically I'm using the music video of Rihanna in order to talk about the American culture and the American structure, okay? And this video is heavily inspired by Babylon in Hidden Sight, which is a web series focusing on the visual, on subliminals, on the language behind the logos, on visual language, but also on, mainly visual language supported by sound. So here in American Oxygen, the first episode we saw was titled Black Power. Then the Black Power, so we are rethinking the mask. We are rethinking also the skin color, because dark black doesn't have to do with the color of the skin, but instead it has to do with black magic and white magic. So we're talking about the yin and yang. We're talking about the synagogue of Satan pretending to be Jews, or maybe we're talking about identity crisis, okay, a stolen identity. We're talking about the mugshots, the selfie, and all of that jazz, all into this music video review, okay? So I decided to simply do a series because there is so much to talk about. Okay, so one thing to also note is that America was built on a game system, okay? America was sold as liberty when in reality it is bondage. And what do I mean by bondage? Okay, so have you ever thought of a slave? What is a slave exactly? So generally when you think of a slave, we all think of someone who works nonstop. Well, that's the modern slavery, okay? So the modern slavery has to do with work, okay? It has to do with no rest. So the Sabbath day out of the window. And even the prophecy in Revelation, in the book of Revelation, also titled Apocalypse in French, it says that in the last days, you will have to work a full day for bread. And that's exactly what we see here, the modern slavery, okay? Okay, and also when we think of buying water, okay, and even the commerce of the water bottles, it's as if nowadays water is seen as the new money, okay? But water is essential, of course. Water was always precious, but now it is seen as the new money, okay? Okay, so all that jazz to say, welcome back to this series.
911, what's your emergency?
Martin Luther King was shot and was killed tonight.
In the previous episode, we have spoken about war, about the war of imagery. So we have spoken about the different images that different countries use in order to represent the sea, the land, the air, and space. We spoke about the Star of Remphan. We spoke about the nation, okay, in reference to Abraham, the father of nation, but in their case, they're using imagery to blaspheme. Nation of immigrants. So I introduced IGN, which you see here, IGN, but also IAT. Oh, I thought it was ITA. Okay, I'm gonna have to go back to it. So we have spoken about the Inanna, who's Babylon, who's Ishtar. She is also seen, she has different names depending on the culture. She is she's in order to appeal to different culture. The Sphinx, the Super Bowl event, who's actually a event where the celebrities or performers are casting spell on the audience, whether it's the audience that is watching through TV or whether it's the audience watching on live. So this is Babylon on the beast. This card is titled Lust, but also another version of the card is Strength. But we know that lust brings bondage. Okay, and we have spoken about America being a game being built around the game system. So the tarot cards, let's see, the race, sports, music, acting, it's all a play. Then even the sports celebrities, also players. We have spoken about also the attire, the colors. But the thing that is really important to know is that America, the US, okay, US was founded after Satan, okay? It's an ideal founded on Satan. It was not founded on Christ. And we know that the only thing that will last forever is anything that is built on Christ. If not, it will crash, okay? So just like the American culture system, whatever, this will crash. Of course, Satan will have a 3-year where he is reigning, but it has nothing to do with eternity, okay? It's only for a very short period of time. Okay. So, also Anu, this is what you see on the $1 symbol. The pyramid. And you can also think of the pyramid of Maslow, because this system is very deep. It goes way deeper than just imagery. It's a way of life. It's a way of thinking. Okay. So we've spoken also about the masquerade. So they're using fashion in order to appeal. Aesthetic is very important for the people serving Satan. So Satan has to be appealing to the mass in order to attract people. Okay, so yeah, we see the moon, the beast, what we call Anu, so-called Anu, the ONU, the United Nations. I've exposed the scam behind this organization. They promise peace. But in reality, it seems like they're the tool of war, okay? And see here, it says in Revelation 13:2-7, it says at some point, and power was given unto him to continue 42 months, and he opened his mouth in blasphemy against God, to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle, and them that dwell in heaven. It has given unto him to make war with the saints. See? And to overcome them. But ironically, the United Nations promotes or market themselves as peacemaker. Okay, then Mexico is very important. Okay, so see, there's a collaboration with New York and Mexico, and I think it has to do with borders. So they're removing the borders, okay? And we know that a country without borders means that this country is open for attack, because you don't know who's coming in, okay? So also that same Sphinx is the same statue that we saw in New York, but just with a different representation. These are giants. These are Nephilims, spirits. And of course, they make war with the saints. And we know that Haiti is part of Israel. Okay, so ice, spice. So when you mix both, you get a purple. So blue and red gives purple. So see, she's seen in high places, and Ice Spice is actually Isis. She represents Venus. And here is the tarot card where they're depicting Ice Spice, okay, mixed in the jar in the middle. Okay, there is a model that I will use as a blueprint, okay? This model is named Grace Jones.
She was called too dark to sell, too masculine to model,
Being masculine, it's an attitude, really.
too aggressive to work with.
Not hold.
Imagine being told your face, your skin, your entire existence was unmarketable.
Very strange features, though, for Americans, you know. They're not used. Everyone thought I have a nose job, for example.
Grace Jones didn't just break the rules, she lit them on fire and danced in the ashes. So, what really happened? How did a preacher's daughter from Jamaica become the most intimidating figure in fashion history? Why was everyone terrified of her presence? Spanish Town, Jamaica.
Known as, yes, a model, but also an actor, a singer, a entertainer, in other words. And this model, Grace Jones, was used as a blueprint for Rihanna, Lady Gaga, all these rebel women, okay? Rebel women.
Bizarre, beautiful, feminine, masculine, everything but conservative. Will you please welcome Miss Grace Jones? I always forget how long your legs are.
It's perfectly normal.
Now, speaking of perfectly normal, I've seen you in many outfits.
At the end of the year, they have a big race, you know, at school. And I came in a Claude Montana, what I thought was a jogging outfit. And my son looked at me and he says, "Mom, what are you wearing? You're supposed to be in a jogging outfit." I said, "This is a jogging outfit." So
she could beat me, but she cannot beat my outfit.
The neighbor got in a little bit of trouble.
Yes, I am. Why, my bother you?
Oh, no.
They're covered in Swarovski crystals, girl. You know what? There's a girl in Barbados who's a friend of a friend, and she has a big dick across her stomach. It's huge, and it has veins and everything. It's terrible. I know. It's not a good tattoo.
Happy Christmas, everybody. That's it.
So Grace Jones was mainly popular because of her androgynous look. So she looks like both men and women. And she also said during an interview that being a male is an attitude, okay? So it's more than the physical, it also has to do with the attitude. And that reminds me of a Bible verse that talks about les efféminés, okay? And generally when you think of someone who's a man who's feminized, you'll think of someone who dressed like a woman, which is not like false necessarily, but it starts with the attitude. It starts with the character.
Look at you here. Oh,
that's
sex
bad.
bitch bomb. Grace.
that's the way I looked at Roger Moore. He said, "Grace, please don't look at me like that."
Now, what
He
is
was
this?
Upset. This was also from A View to a Kill, after I became the good girl.
Rihanna, good girl going bad, action.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
And that's a savage.
Didn't tell you that I was a savage?
Fabulous.
That's from Conan.
Oh,
I used to have my lips pulled. That's why they're so big.
They pulled your lips?
Yeah. I always had to have the last word.
Oh, I wonder where, yeah.
You know, I was always talking back, because I was so skinny I couldn't hit back. So I used my mouth.
But now you hit back.
Now I hit back.
I've heard stories of always punching somebody out. Am I right?
If they misbehave.
Yeah.
She could beat me, but she cannot beat my outfit.
And how to know how to define a feminine man? Well, look at the character of God. So God provides, okay? God protects his children. God do not neglect his children. And the opposite even, he has compassion for his children. God does not beat women, okay? And all of that jazz. So all these characteristics that I brought will determine whether you have a feminine character or not. Okay, and then it'll reflect on the physical. And also, I remember I heard someone said one time, okay, I'll put it out there, and I think there's a truth to that, and there's a reason for that. Okay, so that woman said she wouldn't date any men. Well, she used to date men that were not necessarily financially stable or didn't have nothing really going on for themselves. They were not stable, okay, financially stable. And she said that generally it ended up with that man being either a cheater, a serial cheater, or a woman beater, okay? Someone who beats her. So it's as if she was explaining that because that man doesn't have the authority or the, like, how can I say that? He's not exercising his manly position, so he wants to take it in another form, and in that case using violence or cheating. Okay, so I thought that was really interesting because at first I was really triggered when she said that, but then I thought about it and I was like, oh, that makes sense. It's like Jacob in the Bible when he wanted to marry that woman that he wanted, okay, for as a wife. He worked, I think, 7 years. So he worked before he got this woman because he had to be able to provide. And even in the Garden of Eden, when Eve was formed, okay, from Adam's ribs, so everything was placed. Adam named the animals. Adam had like trees. There were stuff, and then Eve came in the picture. Okay, although she already existed, but at that moment God operated Adam so he could form Eve from his ribs. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. So all this to say, okay, that Grace Jones is used as the blueprint, okay? She has that rebel look, and she even looks like a man. To be honest, I think that's literally a man dressing as a woman, acting as a woman. And does that even matter? Is that a man? Is that a black person? And also, I think what's interesting with this character is also the face.
I collect, uniforms, hats. I love uniforms and men's clothing, and my hair is always cropped short. I have a hobby. This hat I got from a Swiss police at the border. And the Swiss are very, very strict. And I have this little game where I try to talk all the policemen out of their hats and their handcuffs and whatever I can get,
So let's continue. So we spoke about Mexico. And right there is. So in the music video, you see Mexico. Okay, so these are the people coming in the city. So I guess these are like the intruders, okay, using illegal way to enter a country. So these are, I guess, the intruders, Mexican intruders in that case. But are these really Mexicans, or they're just using the image of Mexicans? Okay, that will be the right question to ask. If you haven't seen my music video, Babushka Boy, I think you should go watch it. Then see this image. This is a railroad, so using train. And we know that transportation, especially in big cities, is really important because this is how commerce is maintained. And even in transportation, this is how people go to work. And even think of transportation in big cities when you have to go to the city or enter the city. If you live outside of the big city, when you have to enter through a bridge, think of the traffic and think of how important, like we all have let's say if you go out at 9, there will be a lot of people, okay? So yeah, transport is very important. Okay, then also the boats are really important for commerce. So when cities are located near a river, it's a plus, okay? It facilitates commerce. And think of Babylon, which was located beyond 2 rivers. And Babylon was located in Mesopotamia. And Mesopotamia, meso means beyond two rivers. So it really facilitates the access to the place. But let's say if now you don't have borders, this will be hell, because not only the country or the city is accessible, but now if you don't have border, it's worse. This is a gas mask. So when you think of mask, okay, we can think of the latex mask, the mask that we used during COVID. We can think also of the masquerade ball, the glam mask, but we can also think of medical mask or emergency mask. Okay, then this image appears, and this image wrote USA. But I thought it was interesting. It wrote USA in red, but USA, US, us. And that reminded me of the movie in 2000 that was released in 2019 by Jordan Peele, Us. Okay.
What does I got 5 on it mean?
It's about drugs.
Get in rhythm.
We will see further. Then it reminds me of the music video or the music by Kendrick Lamar, They Not Like Us, They Not Like Us.
You're almost there. Don't mess this.
Oh no. It's a cultural divide. I'm gonna get it on the floor.
They not like us.
No.
They not like us.
No.
They not like us.
What? Is it us as like us? In speaking about USA, us, okay? And who's us now? Okay, and us, think of the passport, the headshots, the mug shots, ID, identity, us who, you know? Are we talking about the infiltrators that now have the identity of America? And think of ID magazine, ID identity. Think of also the selfie, which sort of looks like mugshots, but you take it yourself. Okay, so USA. So America. Okay. So this movie was released, the movie Us, okay, released in 2019, was released by Universal Pictures on March 8th. And we know that Universal Picture, the logo is Saturn, which means Satan, which means 666. Okay. Which means Sega. Okay, so let's read the plot. So in 1986, young Adelaide Thomas wanders away from her parents at the Santa Cruz Beach boardwalk. Oh, it's not Broadwalk, maybe? And enters a fun house. She encounters Red, a doppelganger of herself in the house of mirror. Following the encounters, she suddenly stops speaking and withdraws from her family. So it's as if this moment was a trauma. And that happens in real life, huh? Some children or some people encounter spirit and afterwards they can't really quite remember what happens, or they sort of have a trauma. Okay, so 33 years later, an adult Adelaide goes on vacation with her husband, Gabby Wilson, and their children, Zora and Jason. That night, Jason notices a family of 4 in the driveway. The intruders are Red with the Wilsons' doppelgangers called Tethred. I feel like these names, Tethred, has to do with a form or geometry for some reason, or air. Okay, so let's see the picture. So here in the cover, you see like the face, but she also has her face as a mask. Okay, so it is speaking and it's titled Us. So it's as if they're living in another world that is parallel to the real world. And in that case, we are speaking about the spiritual world, okay? They do call it the 3D world. Like for me, example, going to my computer, it's like a 3D world, okay? It's spiritual into images. I can't really touch the internet. I can't touch these images that I'm showing, nor this presentation, except if I print it, you know? So yeah, so okay, so let's see the characters. So you have Ambra, Zora's Sadic double. So this is literally like a family. Then you have Abraham, Gabby's animalistic double. So what you're looking at, these are the double, okay? So you have the original Adelaide replaced by Red. If I remember in the movie, the person that was normal, she was replaced. So let's say, okay, let's call it like this. The demon of that person took her real life place. So she was among the family. She learned how to talk. She learned how to walk and how to live in society. And then the real Adelaide was put into this demon version of her family. She began to move like them, speak like them. And then you have Pluto, who's Jason's pyromaniac doppelgangers. Okay, so that also reminds me, this black mask reminds me of the famous by Basquiat, this painting. So Basquiat was known to draw or paint black faces.
I just decided to be a model and do acting on the side. And modeling, I went to Paris, and in 3 months I was a top model. You know, I think they like different faces there, you know. Your private life, drama, baby.
You know, my personal life is pretty much non-existent, which is not good. Not for the long run, not for me, not for her. It's not.
We're very proud of all those boys, yeah. How was the concert, okay?
Whew.
Good?
I almost took my clothes off. If I had one more night, maybe.
Is that right? What is it? They encourage you to take your clothes off.
Oh. Well, let me tell you, I get to feeling so powerful up there, so strong, and they give me such energy back, you know, that it just leaves me, like you say, you know, do whatever, do what you want with me. You know?
Nobody ever said that to me in my whole life.
You know, doing enough topless shoots for GQ and Esquire, you definitely, after a while, you're like, well, I guess I'm just have to do it. There are a lot of people around, and you get...
But you didn't have to do it.
It's kind of a... No, but if it's a cover you want to achieve, you know...
I'm very superficial. I hate everything official. So the look just sort of developed, you know, and I work along with Jean-Paul Gouze, who's my husband, and...
But there's a lot of debate about that.
Artist.
In the papers that you say he is your husband and he isn't your husband.
Well, he is and he isn't.
Brilliantly in your career. I just wondered if you are as happy in your private life, and will we be seeing a certain Mr. Ashton Kutcher perhaps making a trip over here?
Wow, how disappointing was that question?
And your sex life complications are not my fascination.
I'm happy and I'm single, if that's what you were really asking.
What do you mean? Are you married?
I am and I'm not.
You have a child by him?
Yes.
But you're not sure if you're married?
No. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Really, that's the way it is.
Well, it's okay, I guess. It's
is that,
if it fits,
is
it's
that
fine.
okay?
Yeah, it doesn't matter to me. It's all right. Well, who invented the hairstyle? Who did all?
Well, I started always with my hair short. I think I dyed my hair once, and it all fell out.
Is that right?
Yes, I dyed it blonde, and everything fell out. So I shaved my head after that. And after that, I decided this was great. It was the perfect hairdo for me.
Yeah.
It shows my face. I could carry it. You know, everything else was a distraction. I wear hats better. I can wear anything on my head. It doesn't lump up here and lump up there. And I decided to keep this hairdo, and I just experimented with it short.
So this one is titled Famous. And what's interesting is that Kanye West had an exhibition, a private exhibition in 2016 with sculpture, and the exhibition was titled Famous. Okay, and it was held at Bloom and Poe in Santa Monica. I believe it was like a 3-day exhibition. So let's see what's inside. So inside this exhibition that Kanye West did, okay, so you have, well, bodies on the table, okay, or celebrity bodies, okay, and that should ring an alarm in your head. So this is the whole point. So let's read the article here. The piece was inspired by a painting by Vincent Desiderio and first shown at the World in West music video for his controversial song, Famous. And this was an article written in ID magazine. So remember ID, identity, mugshot, okay. So you see Donald Trump on the table, you see Rihanna, you see the one playing in Power. Then you have Paris Hilton, and I can't remember who else. I think Ray J was here too. It's sort of creepy. Okay, so the show features replica sculptures of 12 celebrities and former or wannabe politicians, including George Bush and Donald Trump, as well as Rihanna, Amber Rose, Taylor Swift, Anna Wintour, Bill Cosby, Chris Brown, Ray J, Caitlyn Jenner, Kim Kardashian, and Kanye West. West creative content company Donda actualized the project, for which the agency hired 2 Los Angeles studios to create anatomically correct replicas of each person, sort of like a bedridden, sleeping wax museum. Okay, interesting. And 12, think of the like why 12? Why 12? The 12 stars? Anyway, and how these people were selected. What was the creative process or the reason? And Donda was Kanye West's mother who died, and he did a whole album to her, and he even did a concert that was dedicated to her. So she's a dead, and he summoned her so-called mother Donda for this project. So this is literally witchcraft. And if you have attended this concert, Donda, I pray that God delivers you from whatever spirit that is attached to you, okay? So actualize the project. Okay, yeah, so let's continue. Okay, so inside Famous Story of okay, the 12 disciples in this exhibition entitled Famous are made from silicone sculptures that lay in bed breathing. So silicone breathing, wax figures breathing. The sculpture have mechanisms inside that allow the chest to move up and down as if they were breathing, Blum explains. They're not animatronic. Wow, that is crazy. So remember when God blew the breath of life in Adam's nostrils? Well, I think the devil is trying to replicate the same thing, because I've explained how he's using AI or different ways to create humans or to procreate. And I think this is an example, a very obvious example. So here it says that they have a mechanism that allows them, or that gives the illusion of breathing. And this is also what we call witchcraft. And remember, I presented in the last episode the kingdom, the magic kingdom for the presidents. Yeah, so just think about it. When you see them on TV or during interviews, do you think that you're looking at the real celebrity, or do you think these celebrities are just images? And especially when they come with the big thick sunglasses. What is that about? So let's continue. It took 4 months for the Donda team to create these pieces, which were 3D, so 3D spiritual world, scanned and modeled from photos sourced online. So that really rang an alarm, because I was like, where did they found these photos? Is it on Instagram? Is it on Facebook? Okay, because photos online. The artist incorporated human hair, including on Trump's behind and inside, Cosby's nose. Kardashian's ass was sculpted to perfection by Kim herself in the studio. So here's Kim laying on the table. It's so weird. So I have a question, you watching this. Would you agree to have a replica of you exhibited on the table, even though it's not you, you know, just to have a replica exactly like you exhibited on the table? Would you be comfortable for people to just walk in and see your whole body, even though it's not necessarily you? That is creepy. And think of all the celebrity who have their body or wax figure in museums, okay, in big cities. Okay, so this is once again another image of Kim standing on Kanye's face, and this is her for Allure magazine. Okay, so I thought it was interesting when she's wearing the blonde. Why is that? So the science of natural beauty. Can aluminium save the planet? So it all has to do with climate change. I'm totally a different person when I'm blonde. And why is that? What is this obsession with being blonde? And I've shown, think of Anna Wintour with the blonde hair. Think of Michaela, who was first featured in the US Vogue cover, blonde. Think of Beyonce, who's keeping the blonde image. And think of all the celebrities who was at least blonde one time, who was at least one time blonde. Okay, and also even that braid that looks sort of like a snake, okay? Well, I don't think she's naked, she's wearing Skims. And think of Skims, skin, having a new skin, a new body. So you know when the celebrity says, oh, I have a new body, and they're like, okay, I went to surgery. Well, I believe they're lying. I think that they have people that mold them because they're wax figures, okay? So they're leading the mass to go get surgery, but these are not real people. These are just like molded images, graven images, yes, for idolatry purposes in order to influence the mass. But I'm pretty sure most of these people on the table are not real people. They're just using these mannequins or voodoo dolls, making us believe that they're alive, okay? But they're not. These are deads. And maybe demons are the ones animating these bodies, you know? Just like the AI technology where they say the machine speaks for itself, it has its own thoughts. So you think you're really speaking to AI, or what do you think AI is actually? Okay, so it's another form of voodoo, okay? They're using it to animate dolls, okay, in order to give a body to the unclean spirits. Okay, so Skims, formerly known as Kimono Intimates, was launched on September 10 in 2019. So it was when Kim Kardashian was called Kim Kardashian West. Okay, so some Japanese people on social media complained that the trademark brand Kimono Intimates, a play on her name, disrespected the traditional clothing. According to the Victoria and Albert Museum, the kimono became the principal item of dress for all classes and sexes in Japan from the 16th century, and it is still a symbol of Japanese culture. Japanese woman Yuka Oishi told the BBC last week, "We wear kimonos to celebrate health, growth of children, engagements, marriages, graduation, and funerals. It's celebratory wear and pass on in families through the generation." So I think it's interesting because Skims, so she's probably wearing a Skim here. Skims. So Skims, it's like a naked fashion, but the kimono is like a covering fashion. So I think it's interesting that they say that it disrespects the traditional clothing, but I still think this is marketing, and they're actually saying that the traditional clothing will disappear. Okay, that's how I read this article here. Because think of Kanye West parroting with his new girlfriend. I can't remember her name right now. And she looks exactly like Kim Kardashian. She has the same height, and she's used as a fashion, well, as a canvas, a body canvas for outrageous fashion. Okay, so here also the body is important. So Kim Kardashian had a perfume, KKW, so Kim Kardashian West, and the fragrance was called Body, and it's literally shaped as Kim's naked body for woman, and it was launched in 2018. So same body, na 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 na, nobody. Na 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 na, body. I can't remember the air exactly.
When you're out there not performing but in the public eye, you seem, I guess it's a confidence thing again, you seem very body confident. I mean, are you as body confident as your peer? No.
Nobody count on your nobody. Oh, dick don't count those.
And I said, do you think you could give me some artificial insemination? Because, no.
What did he say?
He said, Grace, why do you have to be so extreme?
It makes sense.
I know. I think it's perfectly normal.
Nobody count on your nobody.
You like very blonde, very muscly men.
Not all the time.
The ones I've always seen you with. Big muscle guys.
Yeah, one, two, or three.
Yeah.
Nobody flew to Colombia like you did.
Already made a video about the first boot up, but here it goes. We put in the power. We're gonna move away from here. Here we have her. She's back once more from the dead. And open up our trusty X-Mode app. Press the start button. She's back. It's been a long while. I love it to be right.
Can't wait to see a nobody.
But this is one of Kanye West's song, New Body. So when they say she has a new body, it's not that she went to surgery per se. So yes, they will influence the ignorant girl, young girl, okay, that is very easy to impress. They will influence them to go get BBLs and so on, or breast work.
Whoa. New ass, new tits, new bitch, who this, who else, you know, this bad with 2 kids.
But truly, when you see a celebrity with a new body, trust me, they didn't went to the surgery. They simply went to the studio, okay, and they fixed the body. They gave them a new body, just like when they do a wax figure for the museum, okay, for the wax museum or the Madame Tasso museum. So let's read some of the lyrics. So it says, "Can't wait to see your new body. Don't be acting like you don't know, but you don't know nobody.
Don't be acting like you don't know nobody.
Nobody count on your new body. Old dick don't count. Those don't bounce. I'll be the first one to hit your new body."
But they better act like they know who the you now.
That is crazy. And when they say hit your new body, are they talking about spirit embodying, like spirit inhabiting the body? Is that what we're talking about? Because I don't think these are necessarily sexual references, but more of like wicked and spiritual references. So you ask new B, who's this? Who else? And B, why would I want for someone to call me B? Why? I'm not a dog, okay? Who else know this bad with 2 kids? Nobody ever you know? Nobody flew to Colombia, and we know that Beyonce is signed to Colombia. And even the colors of Colombia, I think it's blue, yellow, and red, if I'm not mistaken. Okay? You did trying a new ass out with a new dip, only to ask who first it, cause far as you CERN. And CERN here, think of CERN, okay? The company, the internet company, the first website that was launched in Switzerland. They have the statue of Shiva, which Obama is the face of. You is a newbie. They're dumb. I'm done now. Rich. OD. Okay, this is really nonsense. So even the cover, black and white. It's sort of a weird cover. Okay. So I'm just wondering, am I looking at the sea, or am I looking at like a high place? Okay. So speaking of body,
Nobody flew to Columbia like you did. Trying the new ass out with the new drip. Only think two ass. Who first? Two head.
so you know this Balenciaga outfit that they were wearing during the 2021, I believe. Okay. So when the Balenciaga scandal just came out, Kim, who spent a lot of money on her face, is now showcasing her body, or at least we recognize her through her body. And she's wearing all white, all black, I should say. She's wearing Balenciaga. She has a long braid that looks like a snake, and she looks like a shadow, black power. And that's so funny because she has a mask on, okay, a black mask on, but you still recognize her because of the body, you know? So it's not only the face, but the body too. And also she's holding her last, I can't remember who's this child. Is it North or the smaller one? So it's either Chicago or North. She's holding a baby. And we know that Balenciaga means Baal is king, and Baal is actually eating children, okay? The only sacrifice, or the sacrifice that you give to Baal is your child. Okay, so it's child sacrifice. So I think this image is really telling. Then speaking of the mask, okay, you have also Rick Owens, the face, the mask, see? So Rick Owens, and he's holding his own face. So, okay, so see the deception. And here you see a mugshot. And then he has, so whenever an artist says that she has a new body, a new face, a procedure, or etc., she probably just went to Rick Owens and asked Rick Owens, can you please model this star? Can you do a sculpture of this star in that way with a new body? And then we'll put a system inside, and she'll go to an interview and pretend that she had a new work done. Oh my God. Okay. So also in terms of art, body, and all this intertwined stuff, okay, I thought it was interesting to read an article. So this is Rick Owens with his so-called wife, okay, and she's known as Michelle Lamé. Okay, so both are working together in this photo. See, Rick Owens seems to be wearing like a bra, okay, or a tube. So let's read this article by Vogue India. I started with the thought, what is the most radical thing I can do in a space filled with incredible works of art? And I concluded it was to bring in my own work of art. So there will be living works of art, people I admire who have devoted themselves to creative expression. So see, here it says living works of art. So that means living's work of art, but we all know that these are dead, okay? Even though they are animated, these are dead. The only people who have life are the ones who have received the breath of life, okay? So men made of soil. And the ones who have eternal lives are the ones who have accepted Jesus as Lord and Savior and who put their trust in him. Okay, so let's continue. And I concluded it was to bring my own work to Allah. So there will be living works of art people admire, devoted themselves to Allah. Standing on works of art, my furniture design. Responding to works of art, the Pompidou's collection. I want to be an art or orgy in a controlled environment, a museum. So think of the Met Gala. Think of Madame Tasso Museum, okay, the wax museum. And then also he says my furniture design. So Furniture means that it's like a material, it's like a decoration. So these could be seen as fourniture because these are not like human, okay? So these are like fourniture, and then if you put a spirit inside, then they become animated by an unclean spirit. So these are demon in flesh. And in the Bible, there's a story that speaks about demons that was on a table, on the feet of a table or something like this, and also demons that were in pigs and then that was casted into pigs, and then the pigs ran in the sea. So spirits do travel. Okay, So my latest collection took inspiration from my Mexican heritage. So once again, Mexico. Okay, so they were preparing us, and this was in 2019 that this article was written. On my mother's side of the family, which I haven't explored that much before, I recently went to see an exhibition at the Peggy Guggenheim collection in Venice about Joseph and Annie Albert's travel through Mexico and the country's influence on their work. They sketched the pyramids and documented Aztecs' writing systems. It really delighted me because it was a very playful German German interpretation of Mexico. A lens very similar to mine, the opposite of a cliché. German. I think the first Vogue cover, the girl was like German, if I'm not mistaken. Oh my god, it's really... No, Roman. Okay. So see the Aztecs. Okay, so this is their ritual, human sacrifice. And this is in Mexico. Okay. So Mexico seems to be like... Anyway. Okay. So then Michelle Lamy. I want to be... Okay, so Michelle Lamy, this is her. So she has what looks like a voodoo doll in the back. She has this attire. She sort of looks like Mary, but the dark Mary. The dark Mary. The witch. Okay. So let's continue the article. So the whole thing is really collaborative. I'm not choreographing the performers or telling them what to do. I'm simply composing them. Then, of course, it's also a collaboration with my wife, Lamy, who is nurturing the Rick Owens furniture business while I have an idea of what I want. It's her that sees the design through. So she's clearly a witch, okay? So is she summoning like demons inside of these celebrities' body? I don't know. So she also did a cover story, okay, with Kim. And this was in September 2020. So it says Michelle Lamy and Kim Kardashian fight, flight, unite. So is it like, is she like summoning and then transforming into Kim Kardashian? Is Michelle Lamy the mentor of Kim Kardashian? Is she the one who... Is Rick Owens the one who sculptured the image of Kim Kardashian? Like, so what is it exactly? Okay. And I think it's a weird collaboration because Michelle Lamy has this very dirty look, okay, to her image, very witchy. And then Kim has this sort of clean look. But both are witches, okay? Let's be clear on that. But it's just that it's like black and white. It's like a black and white yin yang, okay, effect here. Okay, so in terms of voodoo dolls, so the animatronic Biden replica at Walt Disney World's Magic Kingdom, of course, the deception witchcraft, the witch land, the land of enchantement, the land of deception. Okay, so the Hall of Presidents, so this is located in Walt Disney World, and it features all the U.S. presidents, so us, U.S., us, so us who? So who are these presidents? Are these voodoo dolls? And if yes, which spirit is animating these sculptures, these images, okay? Okay, so forget, and so this, I'm reading a article from US Today, so us, okay. Forget an inauguration ceremony. The true indicator of having made it as a president is being added to the Hall of Presidents at Walt Disney World. An honored President Joe Biden will soon receive. Disney World officials said Monday that they were putting the finished touches on the animatronic Biden replica ahead of its debut next month at the Magic Kingdom attraction that features a tableau of the nation's president. The Liberty Square attraction had been closed for several months to add Biden, who took office earlier this year as nation's 46th president. Article from Us Today. And I think it's interesting here to see how, okay, so notice here how politicians or politics and entertainment is intertwined. And the reason is because politics is entertainment. Okay, there is nothing real about these debates that they have. And I'm pretty sure behind the cameras, it's like playing chess or the yin and yang. So they present you both sides, but there's only one master, okay? One master for both sides. So let's continue. So this is Biden. I think he's really well made, okay? I think Obama, out of all of them, is not as realistic, but these, like Donald Trump, these figures or sculptures are really realistic. Okay, so let's read. So originally conceived as animated wax figures, the presidents didn't meet Walt Disney approval, so he tasked Walt Disney Imagineering to develop the first audio animatronics figure in human form. The result was the groundbreaking Great Moments for Mr. Lincoln, which debuted in 1964 New York World's Fair. The Hall of Presidents built upon the show's legacy, expanding it to all presidents when it opened in 1971. So definitely, Lincoln was the first president to be developed into to be like AI. It's literally AI in human form, okay? Just like the sex doll, okay, Harmony. Okay, so these are the presidents. So Obama, I think Obama doesn't look realistic. In the back, you see the Dominion, okay, the dome, okay. The flag, the US flag. The colors are purple, red, okay, the Chaldean colors. And the dome, in reference to the creation, how the world is made. So you have a flat earth, then you have a dome on top. And then at the bottom, you have the columns that goes to eternity that represents Jesus Christ, okay, in the word of truth. But in their case, they will show you the dome, okay, in the architectures. They will show you the columns, okay. But when they present you the universe, they offer you a globe, okay? Another blasphemy, another lie. Okay, so in terms of Dominion, so during the election with Trump and Biden, okay? So there was this machine called the Dominion voting machine, okay? And there was a lot of controversy because people were saying that the elections was false and that they hacked the machine. So this was just a story, okay, in order to make you understand that now Dominion, they have dominion over internet. They have dominion over your skin, over communication, over your screen, over communication, okay? Dominion machine, domain. And when we go back to the garden with Adam and Eve, when God formed man, he gave man dominion over the sea, over the animals of the land, and over the fowl of the air. But in terms of but we know that Satan is crafty, so it's like, okay, I can have dominion with communication. Everyone has a phone nowadays, okay? Everyone has a phone. And even whatever transaction that you need to do, whether it's to take an appointment, whether it's to purchase something, to verify your bank account, you need internet, okay? Without it, it's like you can't really function. And everything is becoming also digital. Even the passports, it's a conversation to have them digital. And that reminds me of the movie title the series title Black Mirror. There was an episode with this girl, and whenever she was going, it's like people can approve her, so give her a like. So her popularity was attached to her phone and her social media. I can't remember the title of that episode. So here is Kamala Harris in purple during Biden's inauguration on January 20, 2021. So she has her palm to the sky. She's wearing purple, and purple is a color for royalty. And you have the dome here, the dome. Then you have the columns, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. And even the way the photo was photographed, it seems like she has power. It seems like she's dominant, okay? Because of the angle of the photo, which was captured on purpose this way. And it was during when people were wearing masks. And she's like the only one who doesn't have a mask. How ironic. Or at least a COVID mask, because her face could be the mask itself, okay? She could be a mask, just like Rick Owens showed us, because he's the artist behind most of these figures that we see, okay? These celebrities. Okay, so then again, wax doll. So this is Kamala Harris and Joe Biden at the Madame Tussauds Wax Museum in New York, okay? So once again, the purple, you have the phoenix in you have the phoenix here on the ground. And then who's that little children? Okay, I think it's just a visitor. Okay, so see also here the head, okay? So the Greeks and the Egyptians were overly obsessing over dead bodies, okay? And then Madame Tussauds, so this is the museum, the entrance of the museum. I think there's a cinema too. Okay, see here, Liberty. And what I thought was interesting with this photo is that, see Madame Tussauds, but you still also hear a billboard of Jay-Z 444, okay? And this was a tour that Jay-Z had in New York, okay? Well, in New York, to promote, it was an album, so he was promoting in the billboard of Times Square. And this is on the left, Madame Tussauds. So she literally looks like a wax figure herself in this photo. It's probably a wax figure. It's just a representation of her. So she's the one who started the wax museum. Okay, but let's read the article about the 444, the tour of Jay-Z. Okay, and Jay-Z's from New York. He's the so-called husband of so-called Beyonce. So last week, billboards bearing the number 444 popped up in New York and Los Angeles and online, even in New York's Times Square. If you haven't seen Babylon and Hidden Side, you should go watch this episode. Which ain't cheap. Some bright spark spied the world Tidal in the code of the online ad, and wanderers began wondering whether it was a teaser for Jay-Z's Long in the Works' next album. Now, Friday, June 16, the day after Jay-Z's widely reported non-appearance for his induction at Songwriters Hall of Fame, according to a report, Hip Hop Digs, more ads have popped in Los Angeles, this time with his name above, the 444, at the date 6/30/2017. Okay, that's 13 days later. Okay. And I also think it's interesting in this billboard. So you see here, that looks like Marilyn Manson for some reason. Then you have the children, and we know that Balenciaga is after children. Okay. Then this is a photo of a concert of Jay-Z, 444. So think Times Square. So the screens are very prominent in Times Square. And then for the title concert, he's using, once again, screens in the above. So iPhone, Idol. I do have also a movie titled Idol that you can watch. So you better understand the psychology behind this store or the deception, the world, okay? Metropolis, okay? Being covetous, toujours convoité. When you see things that are shining, it's like you have to have it, or
That's why I see it, I want it. I stunt yellow on it. I dream it, I work hard, I grind till I own it.
so this is also the city that he's going to. So I am Las Vegas, Fresno, Phoenix, Arizona, Denver, Dallas, Houston in Texas, New Orleans. We know her so-called wife, Beyonce, is from Texas. Orlando, Florida, Miami, ATL, Nashville, Kansas City, Detroit, Toronto, Boston, Brooklyn, Washington, Philadelphia, Chicago, Minneapolis, Uniondale, Edmonton, Vancouver, Seattle, Portland, Oakland, Sacramento, San Diego, Los Angeles. Okay, so when talking about the screens, it also reminds me of a music video by Tyler, the Creator, that is titled Earthquake.
For real this time. 'Cause you make my earthquake.
So in this video, he's wearing a cyan costume. Okay, we know what the costume symbolizes. He also has the hair of Anna Wintour, a wig. And then here is the camera. Here are the curtains. And he's like performing. It looks a little awkward.
Oh my God. Oh, down that tin.
But I think it's interesting. Okay, so he's clearly depicting Anna Wintour. So this is Anna Wintour, and she's I think she's the owner of Vogue, or the chief of Vogue magazine. So yeah, a lot of people refer to her whenever they go to big events like Met Gala, or they do big covers, photo shoot. Okay, so now, okay, I think it's interesting because this photo is in subliminals saying that most of these celebrities, so-called celebrities, are molded images, sculptures, okay, that maybe have a technology that allows them to gives the illusion of them breathing, okay, when it's not really the case. And the question to ask is, what is animating the spirits? Okay, because we talk about AI, but what is AI exactly? Are we talking about spirits? Okay, the technology of evil spirit and clean spirits? Okay, so let's see the different characters. Okay, so you have Prince Nelson Rogers, and then playing the role of Chris Angel, or Chris Angel playing the role of Prince Nelson Rogers. Then you have Michael Jackson playing the role of Jasmine Guy, okay, or Jasmine Guy playing the role of Michael Jackson, and she sort of looks like Prince too, okay, in the eye. Then Justin Bieber playing the role of The Weeknd, okay, The Weeknd playing the role of Justin Bieber. Then you have Miley Cyrus playing the role of Ayesha Curry, or Ayesha Curry playing the role of Miley Cyrus. Then you have Karol G, okay, singer, playing the role of Khloe Kardashian, okay, who's a reality TV star, and or Khloe Kardashian playing the role of Karol G. Then you have Rihanna Robin Fenty playing the role of Rita Ora, or Rita Ora playing the role of Rihanna Robin Fenty. And this is her, Rita Ora, and she looks exactly like Rihanna. This is her. That is crazy. okay? The scam is real. And even A$AP Rocky, this is probably someone with hormones, okay? In order to look like this, if you catch my drift. Let's continue. Okay, so Ted Williams, the man with the golden voice. It's the golden voice, golden voice. And who plays the role of Barack Obama? Or Barack Obama, who plays the role of Ted Williams. And what is interesting with Ted Williams, okay? So the story, I'll just recap the story. So he's basically a person who says that he has a God-given gift, his voice, okay? And he went on the street of Colombia, so Colombia, lol. So he was singing or talking for the people passing by, and then someone from the radio came to him and was like, oh my God, your voice is incredible, and gave him a record deal. But what's ironic is that not only this man, okay, Ted Williams, is a father, so he's an absent father in pursuit to his so-called dream, okay, so he's an absent father. He drinks a lot, okay, and yes, exactly. So we know that in the Bible, the law of God, the truth says that someone who is drunk and someone who doesn't take care of their family first, okay, before taking care of people outside, is worse than a pagan. And in that case, I think it's a deception to believe that you can be a alcoholic, okay, neglect your child and your family, and thinking that God will bless you, okay? That is the deception, the lie of the devil. So these people that you see, these actors, these celebrities are all actors. Do not believe their stories, okay? The only story that you must believe is the one that you read in the Bible, or your own testimony, okay? Or that things that you saw, okay? Or to simply just pray the Holy Spirit to give you discernment. Okay, so let's continue. So Ray J plays the role of Kanye West, or Kanye West plays the role of Ray J. And what's interesting is that Ray J and Kanye West are the same height, and they dated the same girl. And the same goes with Justin Bieber and The Weeknd, who dated the same girl, Selena Gomez. And there's a reason why, you know? Okay, let's continue. Then Lil Mitch, okay, who plays the role of London on the track, or London on the track playing the role of Lil Mitch. And Lil Mitch is the new Lil Mitch and London on the track. So he's known as Summer Walker boyfriend, London. And now she has a so-called new boyfriend called Lil Mitch, but it's literally the same person. The same smile, okay. Then Bryson Lashun Potts, aka Anneli Choppa, who plays the role of Brisher Gray, the one who playing Akim Lion in Empire. Or Akim Lion playing the role of Anneli Choppa. Then you have Quavo playing the role of Jacquees, or Jacquees playing the role of Quavo. Then you have Kirk Franklin playing the role of Plies, or Plies playing the role of the so-called gospel singer Kirk Franklin. Then you have Nyla, okay, playing the role of Cardi B, or Cardi B playing the role of Nyla. Then you have Tommy Egan playing the role of Eminem, or Eminem playing the role of Tommy Egan, Joseph Sikora. This looks like prosthetic. Anyway. So then you have G.I. the Prince of NY. Okay, NY is considered as an island too. And playing the role of Island Boy, one of the Island Boy, because I think there are two. And see the Playboy tattoo? Playing both sides with the 5-star and the Taylor. Okay. Then you have Nicki Minaj playing the role of Janaske, okay? And what's interesting is that Janaske is actually Haitian. Or he I don't know if it's she or he, okay? I think he, but Haitian. And then Nikki is Trinidad, is from Trinidad. So-called Trinidad. And so-called Nikki too. Or Janice K plays the role of Nikki. Then you have Ice Spice that plays the role of Ella May, or Ella May playing the role of Ice Spice. Then you have Ali Carter, who was captured by the Russians, and she plays the role of Ceze, or Ceze plays the role of Ali Carter. But we know that today Ceze doesn't look like this, okay? I don't know who made her new body, if it was Rick Owens maybe, but it doesn't look like Ceze. Okay, then we have Christian Milian playing the role of Christian Rock, okay, or Christian Rock playing the role of Christina Milian. Then you have Tyler Laura Sital that plays the role of Sydney Sital, okay. People say that it's her little sister, but yeah, or Sydney Sital playing the role of Tyler. Okay, and is it Tyler or Tyler? Because most of these celebrities that I'm showing you, there's a little confusion with the guest part, okay? If you catch my drift. Then you have the actor Eva Longoria, okay? Actress producer, and she plays the role of Alexandra Madonia, mother of an influencer named Monet McMichael. She's a YouTube or TikTok influencer. And yeah, okay. And I think like Eva Longoria is like a politician. I saw her in a photo with Joe Biden. Okay, then you have Zina Shrek-Lavey, who plays the role of Taylor Swift, or Taylor Swift plays the role of Zina Shrek. Okay. So I think it's interesting because Zina Shrek is not just Zina Shrek, okay? She's a high priest of the Church of Satan, okay? She was the spokesperson for the Church of Satan when television was popping. And here she is, okay? And she also built a radio titled The Radio Werewolf, because she's also a singer, okay? Her dad is Anton LaVey, and Anton LaVey was working very closely with the celebrities like Jane Mansfield, Marilyn Monroe, and so on, if she ever existed. And all of them are blonde, okay, ironically. So Zina Shrek, okay, so she founded Radio Werewolf in Los Angeles in 1984. It was founded by Nicolas Schreck Vocal, an American based in Berlin. I think Nicolas is her husband, and she co-directed the project. Okay, pardon me. So practitioners of black magic, the Werewolf Order, 1988. So 1988, once again 1988, was led by Zina alongside her husband Nicolas. And they were known to practice sonic magic as a collective. So sonic magic. So whenever people say that the music you hear is important, so why is music such a big industry? And ironically here, no one can make money with music except for these wicked artists. Why is so? Okay, so this is her when she was interviewed in 2013 by Network Awesome. Okay, so she spoke about television. She spoke about her album because she's also a musician. And this is her with her father when she was being baptized. And the question I asked myself, am I looking at a young girl or a young boy? Okay, sometimes you have to ask yourself that because there's a lot of deception in Hollywood. So see the pentagram, the 5 star, the Star of Remphan reversed. So Zina Galate Shrek is an American visual and musical artist born in San Francisco in 1967. Famously known as high priest and Buddhist religious teacher, okay? And we know that all religions come from Babylon. In 1972, Zina was baptized by her father, Anton LaVey, in the Black House, a nude body of a female acting used as a satanic altar during the ritual. In 1985, Zina became high priest and spokesperson of the Church of Satan. So this is her as a child. This is her father. And this is the altar, okay? The naked body, the altar. So, of course, Anton LaVey, Zina's father, was also seen with Jane Mansfield, okay? And see the lion on the floor. So this is a ritual happening. She's also blonde. See the wang here, the black wang, the cape, the horn. He has a necklace with the pentagram. And then this is Jane Mansfield in her house of love in 1953. So she's surrounded by voodoo doll. So think of the Hall of Presidents, the Wax Museum. Okay, so imagine just putting a mechanism inside of them so they become alive, so-called alive. This is witchcraft, honestly. So Jane Mansfield, formerly known as Vera Jane Palmer, is a Hollywood film star. So born in 1932 and died in 1967. Known as the living paradise of Marilyn Monroe in films like The Girl Can't Help It, 1956, and Will's success Spoil Rock Hunter in 1957. She was hired by Warner Bros. In 1955 as the successor of Marilyn Monroe. And I've shown the logo of Warner Bros., okay? The three-head fork, yeah. 3 heads fork. And the 8, that looks like a B. Okay, so here she is, Marilyn Monroe in Gentlemen Prefer Blonde, depicted in the Wax Museum. Then this is Marilyn and Jane Mansfield, okay, in New York, 1950. Probably for a cast. They sort of look alike, but are these male? That is my question, because whenever someone has posed for Playboy, they turned out to be like male, okay? And the hand sign, the Playboy peace sign, what is it about? So finally, Harmony, the first AI robot, sex robot. So Harmony is a sex robot, okay, by the manufacturer Real Boutiques. It's a AI company, okay, a bit like the famous exhibition by Kanye West. So she was built to be like a companion to human, okay. So let's talk about the dream, the American dream, okay? So us, US, refers to the prosperity of the serpent, but God gave dominion to men which are God's image. The American dream is sold as a materialist, such as a big house, a big family, luxurious car. But to Satan, the price is our body made in God's image. Liber, sold as liberty, is the ritual demon used to fill people's empty vessel with unclean spirit as a mean to lead them to self-destruction. Shiva. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed, and that's it for today. So these are all characters. This is deception to its finest. And like, how many celebrities is there in the world? So I feel like these celebrities never die. Their music never died. Their faces, their aesthetic. And even when they dress, sometimes they're like, okay, I'm going to recreate Marilyn's look. Okay. So it's as if they never die in the music. They never die in the fashion, the movies. Us. Mexico. Okay. Okay, so if you are someone who likes music and you're tired of Spotify, Apple Music, all these tools where you need internet and this is maybe eating your data, but I think nowadays you have like at least 100 gig of internet, but whatever, okay, you just never know. Let's say you're stuck in the metro, you don't have any Wi-Fi, you don't have access to anything, but you'll have access to free music, well, to music on your phone, because I do have music on sale on my website. So you can buy the MP3, so you have access, you can store it in your USB, in your computer, in your phone, whatever you like, and you can have access to that music wherever you are. So if that interests you, if you like soul music, if you're into R&B, gospel, maybe not really gospel, but more soul R&B, then I do have a list of music that you can purchase on my website, jessieemileboutique.com. Okay, so I really hope you enjoyed that video. Leave a comment, let me know what you think and maybe what you've learned, or maybe do you have something else that you can add to what's been said. So see you in the next one.
I mean, I've got a lot of lookalikes. Come on. I mean, I have a lot of clones.
Yeah, that was
I
Rob
do.
Lowe.
I mean, I've heard people say, you know, hey, Grace, you know, do you remember it was great last night? And I go, but I don't know you.
Yeah.
You know, I say, I'm sure it was a clone they were sleeping with, you know? So.
Some woman impersonating you.
Yeah, or man.
Or man, yeah. You're very androgynous in a way.
Perfect for you. Look good for you. With makeup surgery. Big lips, fake lashes, thick eyebrows, and a thin nose, just like a doll. Looks like a doll for you. It's all for you. Hey, embrace the self, not someone else. Embrace the trace, not someone else's. I had no chance. I'm just a doll, out of control. I just play roles.